Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Andrea, and today we are doing a 40-minute prep to grasshopper pose. So let's start with our legs straight out, flexing our feet, pulling the flesh away from the sit bones, taking your arms to the sky, lengthen through the crown of your head, let your shoulders relax, start to become engaged here. So already scooping your low abdominals in and up and hugging your ribs into your spine. Take a deep inhale here, exhale, forward fold. So if your hands don't meet your feet, you can always just take your hands on either sides of your legs or your shins. So whatever feels good, it just depends how flexible you are. Try to keep your heart open here. So I prefer that you lengthen through the crown of your head and maybe not fold forward as far than just completely round into the pose. On an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward a little bit deeper. See if you can find a little more space. On an inhale, roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, head coming up last. From here, bring your hands behind you, coming onto your fingertips, with the fingertips pointing toward the back of the room. Slide your feet in just until they touch the mat. Take your left ankle, cross it across your right thigh. Good. Flex your foot a ton so that the knees are protected, and then start to slide the other foot in, starting to open up the hip. From here, open the heart, and then push your left knee toward the front of the room. Start to deepen your breath here. Keeping your right hand behind you, take your left arm to the sky, lengthen on an inhale. On the exhale, bring the tricep to the outside of the foot. So you're coming into like a twist. Yeah, good. Start to straighten the arm if you'd like, only if that feels good. Keep pushing the knee out so the hip is opening. And then twist a little bit deeper. Try to keep your heart open here, and don't let your shoulders crouch around your ears. Inhale, make your way back to center. Slowly slide your right foot out. Bring your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, arms to the sky, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Find a little more space this time. And this time, round into it. So let your head hang heavy, and maybe just shake your head yes and no slowly, just maybe starting to open up the neck a little bit. With each exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Find a little more space in the body. On an inhale, roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, head coming up last. Again, bring the hands behind you, fingertips pointing toward the back of the room, making little tents with your hands. Roll your shoulders back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Start to slide the feet in just so they touch the mat. Cross your right ankle across your left thigh, flex your foot a ton, and then start to push the knee open toward the front of the room. And once you get here, if you feel like you can take it a little bit deeper, then start to slide the left foot back a little bit more. Keep your heart open, so puff up your chest. Maybe even take your gaze to the sky if that feels good. Continue to push your right knee toward the front of the room. From here, keeping your left arm behind you, inhale, right arm to the sky, lengthen. On the exhale, bring the tricep to the foot. Twist. And you can inch that left hand a little more behind you if that feels better. And then maybe straighten the arm. But that's just optional. You can also keep a bend in the elbow. On your inhales, lengthen through the crown of your head. On your exhales, twist a little bit deeper. Try to keep the heart open in this pose. Inhale back to center. And then just make your way to hands and knees, tabletop. When you come into tabletop, make sure that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread wide. Either your pointer finger or your middle finger are parallel to each other. Either or, it doesn't matter. Just whichever feels better for you. Knees hip distance. And ribs hugging into the spine, so there's no bow in the low back. So just like this is perfect. Moving through a few cat-cows. On an inhale, open up the heart, lift the tailbone, let your belly drop. Exhale, round through your back. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Scoop your low abdominals in and up. Good. Inhale, open up your heart. And exhale, round. Good. Push into my hand. Yeah, good. One more time. Inhale, open your heart. And exhale, round. Inhale, back to a neutral spine. Take your right arm high to the sky. Stack right shoulder on top of left. And then thread right arm underneath left. Come to lay on your right temple. From here, you have a couple of options. You can stretch your left arm up over your head, coming onto fingertips, stretching through left side body, or you can bring your left hand behind your back, reach towards your right inner thigh, coming into a half bind. So wherever you are in either pose, either arm outstretched or half bind, keep peeling that left shoulder back. So you still want to keep the heart open in this pose. Try to keep the hips squared, so pull this hip back just a tad. Yeah, good. If you're in your half bind, bring your left arm to the sky, then place the hand directly by your face. And on an inhale, make your way back to tabletop. Coming to the other side, take your left arm high to the sky, open up your heart. And thread left arm underneath right, coming to lay on the temple. Whatever variation you took on the first side, please take the same variation on the second. So either arm outstretched or coming into your half bind. And again, keep peeling that right shoulder back. So you really want to find space in the shoulder here. If you have the arm outstretched, maybe try coming onto the fingertips. Yeah, of that outstretched arm, so the right arm. And then peel the shoulder back even more. Yeah, good. Really nice. Bring your right hand right by your face. Good. Use the right hand to push yourself back to hands and knees, tabletop. Moving through a few cat-cows. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round. One more inhale, open your heart, let your belly drop, tailbone lifting. And exhale, round. Pull the belly button into the spine. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, make your way to your first downward facing dog. And when you get here, take some time to pedal out the feet. Make sure the fingers are spread super wide on the mat. And then allow yourself to find the pose. So I feel like down dog is a pose that we come into all the time. We come into it, like 30 times during the class. So sometimes we just fall into it and we stop working the pose. But anytime you want to get into down dog, you always want to work the pose. So make sure the fingers are spread wide, that the triceps are spinning down toward the mat so the shoulders are opening, that your hips are lifting into the sky and your heels are sinking. Keeping your gaze either between your feet or at your belly button. On an inhale, shift forward, plank pose, coming to a push-up position. Good. Exhale out the mouth, down dog. Inhale, plank pose, push-up position. Exhale out the mouth, down dog. Last one, inhale, plank pose. Exhale out the mouth, down dog. Adding a chaturanga, coming onto the knees if you need to. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Bring your arms to a 90-degree angle. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Keep your elbows in tight to your body. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Last one, inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga, hold chaturanga. Hold for 3, 2, 1, lower all the way to the mat. Bring the arms out wide, coming high onto the fingertips, elbows directly over the wrists. Inhale, open the heart to a wide-armed bhujangasana. Exhale, bring the nose back to the mat. Inhale, open the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, back to the mat. Last one, inhale, Bhujangasana with wide arms. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, toes spread wide. Hold it here for 3. Stay with your breath. 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. Bring your hands right next to your chest. Tuck your toes. Make your legs strong. On an inhale, push either up onto the knees or straight to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah, good. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step or float your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to a flat spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Crown of the head reaching toward the front of the room. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Let your shoulders relax down your back. Exhale, hands to the heart. Close your eyes. For a moment, just going internal. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat spine, scoop low abdominals in and up. Exhale, step back, plank pose. On an inhale, shift your body forward. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Come all the way to the mat. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Open up your heart, let your shoulders relax down your back. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Yeah, good. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step or float your feet to meet your hands. Yeah, really nice. Inhale to a flat spine. Reach the crown of your head to the front of the room. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Maybe let your palms touch. Maybe take your gaze up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Maybe take it into a tiny little back bend. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat spine. Let your shoulders relax down your back. Exhale, step back, plank pose. On an inhale, shift forward. Let your heart melt. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Keep your elbows in tight to your body. Good. Inhale, cobra pose or up dog if you feel like your back is warm enough. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Take your gaze up to the front of your mat between your hands. Step or float your feet to meet your hands. Nice. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Let your palms touch. Maybe take it into a tiny little back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So bring the weight into your heels a ton here. Tuck your tailbone more than you think you should so that you're not bowing into your low back. You can see there's a nice straight back here. Let your shoulders relax down your back like you're an object. This is Lauren's back, and it's lovely. Sit back a little bit deeper. Make sure when you look down you can see all 10 toes. Yeah, good. Keep your gaze up to the front of the room. Let your heart open. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale all the way to stand. Hands to the heart in prayer. Good. Sorry, guys. I tricked you. Don't anticipate. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat spine. Exhale, step or float back, chaturanga. Good. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Let your collarbones spread across your chest. Yeah. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Reach your heel to the back of the room. Keep the foot flexed. Let your chest sink a little bit deeper. And really reach your left heel to the mat. Take your right leg a little bit higher. Yeah, good. Pull this right hip up a little bit. Yeah, good. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot in between your hands. Good. Lower your back knee to the mat. Start to straighten your front leg, coming to Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Try to keep the hips directly over the knee. Flex your right foot a ton. On an inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. So keep your gaze at your big toe. You want to imagine that you want your nose to touch your toe. It's completely impossible, but it makes you continue to lengthen instead of just kind of rounding into this pose, which is easy to do. You want to keep lengthening and folding forward. Start to shift forward, bend it into your front knee, lunge, tuck your back toe, lift your back leg. Firmly plant your left palm here and give yourself a lot of space. It's easy to bring the left hand right by the foot, but I want you to bring it to the outside edge of the mat. Take your right arm to the sky, easy twist. And you can even start to come into a tiny little back bend here. Now that you have that space with the left hand out, it gives you a little more room to play. Keep hugging your right knee in toward the midline. You don't want it to splay out here, so you want to keep the knee hugging in. Keep your left leg really straight and strong. So imagine you have like a weight sitting on the back of your left thigh, and you have to reach it toward the sky. Good. Bring right hand down to meet left. Inch your right foot to the outer edge of the mat. From here, take your right shoulder and start to snuggle your right shoulder underneath your knee. Take your gaze up to the front of the room and bring your hands over your right ankle, interlacing the fingers. This requires a little bit of balance, so see if you can stay with your breath and keep your core really engaged here. Maybe take the gaze up to the front of the room. Holding for 3, 2. Bring both hands to the mat. Step right foot back to meet left, plank pose. Moving through your vinyasa, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Keep your gaze up. Exhale, down dog. Nice work. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Flex your foot a ton. Reach your heel to the back of the room. Keep the hips squared. So if you look back, all 5 toes are going to point straight toward the mat. Yeah, good. Let your chest sink a little bit deeper. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot in between your hands. Lower your back knee to the mat. Start to straighten your front leg, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Again, hips over the knee. Let your shoulders relax down your back here and keep lengthening through the crown of your head. If this isn't enough and you want to take the pose deeper, you can always grab the foot with the hand and pull the ball of the foot toward your face. That's going to get the stretch into the calf really, really deep. Start to shift forward, rebend into your front knee. Tuck your back toe, lift your back leg. Bring your right hand to the outside edge of your mat. So again, giving yourself a lot of space here. Take your left arm to the sky, easy twist. And again, you have that space, so maybe you want to start to open up the heart here. Grip the mat with your right fingertips and keep your right arm really straight and strong. Make sure that the shoulder is pulling away from the ear and that you're not crowding in here. Squeeze your left knee in toward the midline. Make your right leg a little bit stronger. Good. Bring left hand down to meet right. Start to inch your left foot to the outer edge of the mat. Both hands on the inside of the foot. Take your left shoulder and start to snuggle it underneath your knee. So a great way to get into this pose, because sometimes it's hard to find space, you can come up onto the toes, then grab the calf and just kind of shove your shoulder underneath. Lower the heel back to the mat, and then from here, bring the hands to the ankle. Maybe interlace the fingers, maybe take the gaze up, make your right leg a little bit stronger, breathe into the hip. Now see if you can pull that hip back a little bit and then bend into the knee a little bit deeper. It's a pretty deep stretch, so try to keep the breath really calm and deep, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Bring both hands to the mat, step left foot back to meet right, plank pose. Moving through your vinyasa, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, let your collarbones spread across your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Take your gaze up past your hands to the top of your mat. Step or float your feet to meet your hands. Good. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale all the way to stand, hands to the heart in prayer. Didn't trick you guys that time. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Good. Exhale, hands to the heart. twist to the right. So left tricep to the outside of right thigh. Sit it back a little bit deeper. So what you're trying to do here is to get your hands to your heart. With each inhale, you want to lengthen through the crown of your head, and with each exhale, you want to twist a little bit deeper. So you're moving into the space that you created. Make sure that your left knee isn't creeping in front of your right. Yeah, good. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to the heart, twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. See if you can keep the breath just as deep here. When we get into these twists, it's really constricting. So generally, our breath tends to be a little more shallow. So can you keep that really deep breath that you had in the beginning of the class? Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat spine. Exhale, step or float back, Chaturanga. If you're floating back, landing with bent elbows. Good. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Let your collarbone spread across your chest, heart opening. Really nice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Good. Stay high on your back toes. Inhale, arms to the sky, crescent pose. Good. Make sure that your front leg is at a 90-degree angle. So you want your knee in line with your ankle and your hip in line with your knee. Tailbone tucking. Bring your back heel a little bit higher. Yeah. You just get to be my model, so you get to work harder than everybody else. Let your shoulders relax down your back. Good. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then start to open up your heart to the sky. So I don't want you to let this stretch go into your low back at all. So you want to imagine that somebody has a string and it's attached to your sternum and they're pulling it up. If you feel this going into your low back, then you need to back off of the stretch. Hug your ribs into your spine to keep your core engaged. Inhale, arms to the sky, crescent pose. Exhale, hands to the heart, twist. Left tricep to the outside of right thigh. So it's just like the chair twist. It's almost the exact same pose, right? Except now the left leg is behind us instead of the legs in line. We're going to take this pose a little bit deeper. I want you to start to open the arms. See if you can bring the left fingertips toward the mat. Now you'll feel a huge stretch right behind your left shoulder blade. Bend into the front knee a little bit deeper. Make your back leg a little bit stronger. Good. Bring your hands together in prayer. So coming back to where you started. Inhale, crescent pose. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step right foot back to meet left. Moving through your vinyasa or coming directly to down dog. So at this point, the vinyasa is an option. We're pretty warm and the vinyasa is designed to warm us up. If you don't feel like doing it anymore, then you can always just come directly to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Staying high on your back toes, inhale your arms to the sky, crescent pose. So this is where you can go through all those little modifications. The lovely thing about yoga is that your practice is only as hard as you make it. So if you come to the mat and you half-ass the practice, then you're not going to have a hard workout, right? But if you come to the mat and you work each pose, then you're going to see progress quickly. Bring your hands to your heart. I'm sorry, bring your hands back to the sky. And cut. Now, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, palm to palm, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, open up your heart to the sky. Don't lose that bend in the front knee. So it's really easy to lose the bend when you start to come into a back bend. Your front knee kind of wants to straighten, so re-bend into it. Keep your tailbone tucking, keep your heart open. Good. Inhale, crescent pose, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart, take it into a twist. Right tricep to the outside of left thigh. Keep low abdominals scooping in and up. From here, begin to open up your arms, take the twist deeper. Can you get the right fingertips to the mat? Maybe take your gaze up towards the left fingertips if that feels good. Try to keep the breath deep and full. Bend into the front knee a little bit deeper. Make your right leg a little bit stronger. Bring your hands back to your heart in prayer. Inhale, crescent pose. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step left foot back. Again, coming straight to down dog or moving through your vinyasa. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Stay high on your back toes. Inhale, crescent pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Start to lean your body forward in a 45-degree angle. Keep your belly engaged. So imagine you have a lemon in the middle of your stomach and you're squeezing it from all sides. From here, float your left leg coming to warrior 3. Make sure that that left hip is inwardly rotated and your left foot is flexed. So if you look back, again, all 5 toes are pointing straight toward the mat. Bring both hands to the mat, standing split, take left leg high to the sky. Stack left hip on top of right, begin to let the knee bend. So you're coming into a hip opener, kind of like you do in down dog, except we're doing it in standing split. So when you come into that hip opener and flip it into wild thing, it's the same thing. Keep your back body full here, so keep the tailbone tucking even though you're opening up the hip. Begin to straighten the leg, reach the heel to the back of the room. From here, come up to a straight spine. Keep the left leg really straight behind you. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your right knee slightly. So this requires a little balance. Good. Start to pendulum swing the leg forward. Don't touch the mat. Cross left ankle across right thigh. Coming to funky chair. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer. Make sure that your left foot is flexed a ton. Yeah, good. Tailbone tucking. Sit back a little bit deeper. Make sure that your left hip is lifting. So it's really easy to let the left hip kind of sink here. So can you lift the left hip and then bend into the right leg more? Yeah, good. From here, bring both hands to the mat. Just breathing into the hip. Now, if the arm balance here is part of your practice and you want to come into it, that's totally optional. I'm not going to demo it because I'm not teaching it, but if you have an advanced practice and you want to come into a flying pigeon, which I think Lauren's going to do right here, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I want you to just work on opening up that hip. Start to unwrap the legs, shoot the left leg behind you, standing split. Bend into your right knee, step left foot back, low lunge. Step right foot back to meet left, move through your vinyasa. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Stay high on your back toes. Inhale, arms to the sky, crescent pose. Good. Bring your hands to your heart. Start to bring your body forward in a 45-degree angle. Good. Keep your belly really engaged. Float up, warrior 3. Try not to grip the mat with your toes here. So when we get into these standing poses, it's really easy to start gripping because the stress and tension wants to build up somewhere. So can you try to find sort of a softness in the pose? Good. Take your hands to the mat, standing split, right leg high to the sky. Yeah, good. Now start to stack right hip on top of left and let the knee bend, but keep both hands on the mat. Keep your back body full. Yeah, good. Yeah, and if you want to do any circles with the ankle here, if that feels good, you can do that. Just bringing some movement into the foot. Start to straighten the leg. Re-square the hips. Take the right leg out straight and strong toward the wall behind you. Start to open up your heart to the front of the room. Now I bend slightly in my left knee, otherwise there's no way I can bring my hands to my hips. So from here, bring the hands to the hips. Take the gaze up, pendulum swing the leg forward, cross right ankle across left thigh, funky chair. Hands to the heart in prayer. Again, keep the feet really, well, the right foot really flexed. The left you don't have a choice because you're standing on it. But keep the right foot really flexed here. You want to protect that knee. Now see if you can lift the right hip up because it has a tendency to droop. Droopy hips, nobody wants that. And then sit back a little bit deeper. Good. Bring both hands to the mat. Breathe into the hip. Now if the arm balance is part of your practice, again, you can come into it here. I'm not going to teach it because it's not what we're doing in this class. But for more advanced practitioners, that's an option. Otherwise, I just want you to work that hip. Now, can you breathe into the hip a little bit deeper? Can you find a little more space? Uncross the legs, shoot the right leg out behind you, standing split. Bend into your left knee, step your right foot back, low lunge, move through your vinyasa, stepping left foot back to meet right, or coming directly to downward facing dog. Good, take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it go out your mouth. Again, take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go out your mouth. One more time, take a deep breath in. Lion's breath, let it go. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Good, stay high on your back toes. Inhale, crescent pose. Last crescent, I promise, I'm like obsessed with this pose. Somebody told me it's only LA that's obsessed with crescent pose. I don't know if that's true. Okay, keeping the arms in the sky, start to shift forward, warrior three. So coming into the full expression of the pose this time with arms reaching towards the front of the room. Now, can you make the pose just as strong as it was before? Now that you've added the arms. Good. Start to pendulum swing the leg forward. Don't let it touch the mat. Cross left ankle across right thigh. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer. So this may be where you're at. From here, we're going to work into grasshopper. You can stay here and just let the hip open. Now, if you want to take the pose deeper, start to bring your left tricep into the arch of your right foot, coming into a twist. So it's sort of what we did before when we were warming up. We were in that like really weird twist with the tricep in the bottom of the foot, so it's the same thing. So either keeping here, this may be where you're at. If you're going to take the pose to the full arm balance, you'll bring both hands to the mat. Now make sure that the hands are hip distance apart, or shoulder distance apart. Hands shoulder distance apart. Start to bring your weight forward. Think chaturanga arms. Keep the heart open. Foot is planted in the tricep, and then maybe float the back leg. So just play with it. It's pretty difficult. You might not get it the first time, but that's, you know, the fun of yoga, just playing with the poses. It kind of lets us be a kid again. And again, you may just be working on that twist. If you put lotion on this morning, there's probably no way you're going to get into the pose. So don't feel defeated. Yeah, good. Now keep your heart open a ton. So try not to let your right shoulder dip. So it's easy to kind of lean onto one of your arms as like a shelf, but you want to keep that right arm free. Yeah, there you go. Start to make your way back to center, and then just step right foot to meet left, hands to the heart in prayer. Coming to stand at the top of the mat, close the eyes, take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat spine. And on the exhale, just take a big step back with the right foot. Good. From here, inhale, arms to the sky, crescent pose. See, I saved you a full vinyasa. Just because I love you guys. Good. Start to lean forward in a 45-degree angle, keeping the arms outstretched. Float right leg, warrior three. Sorry. I just wanted to hold your hand. High five. Flex your right foot a ton. Now feel a line of energy going all the way from the fingertips to the heel or toe of that back foot. Lauren has her toes pointed, and that's fine. Lower your torso a little bit more. Yeah, good. Start to pendulum swing the leg forward. Don't let it touch the mat. Good. Cross right ankle across left thigh. Start to sit back, funky chair, hands to the heart in prayer. So again, you have options here. The lovely thing about yoga is that the poses build off each other. You can hang out in this hip opener, and that's good enough. I mean, it's great. It's a hard pose. If you want to start to take it deeper, bring the right tricep to the arch of the foot. Make your way to your prayer twist. And this may be where you're at today. This is a great place to be as well. It's a great twist and hip opener. Otherwise, start to bring the hands to the mat. Shoulder distance apart. Think chaturanga arms. Start to bring your weight forward. Your right foot is resting on your tricep. And then maybe start to lift the left leg. So again, you're not leaning on that left tricep. You're completely raised. And then stepping right foot down to meet left. Just come to a forward fold at the top of your mat when you're done playing. Grab opposite elbows. Let your body hang. Maybe rock it to the right and the left. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no. Bring both hands to the mat. Heel toe the feet so that they're touching, coming into traditional malasana. Start to take the knees out wide. Lift the heels. Begin to stretch the arms out in front of you. Think child's pose in the torso. And you can keep it here if you want to come to the full version of the pose. You can start to wrap your arms around the front of your shins, cupping your heels in your hands, and then with each exhale, sinking your forehead a little toward the mat. I can't get into the full pose. My hips aren't open enough. But eventually, your forehead will touch the mat. Eventually. Yeah, good. Lauren's in the full pose right here. That's beautiful. I feel like almost everybody's in the full pose except for me. Awesome. Bring both hands to the mat. Start to make your way out of the pose, stepping back, downward facing dog. Lower knees to the mat. Mat width apart, big toes together. Sit back, wide-legged child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the mat. Start to slow down your breath. Crawl your hands over to the right. Let your left side body open. Keep your forehead on the mat if you can. So if you're still in like traditional child's pose, you're just coming to the side a little bit. And then send breath into your left side body. So imagine that you're creating space between each and every rib. So you really want to find a lot of space in the back here. This is an opportunity to really focus your breath. So focusing breath into the area of your body that you want to open. Crawl your hands over to the left, opening up right side body. And again, focusing your breath into your rib cage. So can you really create space there? Can you feel all of the muscles in your back opening up and stretching? Begin to make your way back to center. Crawling your hands all the way back, coming to sit. Bring your knees together. From here, we'll come to Virasana or Hero's Pose. So you have a couple of options. You want to take the feet out just a little bit wider than the hips so that the feet are pointing straight back. And this may be enough for you. You can also place a prop underneath your butt. So if you have like a pillow or like a small dog or something, just place it, I don't know, just place it underneath you so that you have something to sit on. This is a really deep stretch in your knees. So if you have tight knees or tight quads, you're going to feel it really quick. And this may be where you're at. From here, you can just place the hands in your lap, palm up with one hand resting on the other palm. If you want to start to take the pose a little bit deeper, you can start to work back onto your forearms. Right? And this may be where you're at. Again, just take the pose to where you're at. There's no prize for getting all the way into the pose. I'm not there. I'm not going to give you a sticker or anything. So just listen to your body. And then maybe taking it all the way onto your back, stretching your arms up over your head. And bring it all back in here. So really start to take it internal. Can you come back to your breath? Can you find the softness and the calmness in something that's, not that comfortable. So this is where you start to train the mind to remain calm when the body sort of wants to freak out. And this is where you can really tap into your breath. This is where you can really tap into that control that you kind of learned through yoga. So there really is no incredibly graceful way to get out of this pose, unfortunately. So just crawling the hands in, making your way onto your forearms, and then coming all the way onto your hands. From here, come forward onto your hands and knees. Stretch one leg out behind you. And then switch sides, should feel really nice. Bring both knees to the mat, cross your ankles behind you, roll onto your butt, coming to an easy cross-legged position on the mat. From here, bringing your hands to your heart in prayer, closing your eyes, letting your sit bones sink into the mat. Taking a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it go out your mouth. Thanking yourself for taking the time to come to your mat, doing something so good for your mind, your body, and your breath. And for a moment, just feeling a sense of gratitude for your practice. Bowing the chin to the chest. May the light within me honor the light within you, and may the light within you honor the light within everyone who surrounds you. Namaste. Namaste.